murder, secrets unfold. True crime stories, let the intrigue be told. Grab a seat, get cozy, let's dive into the plot. With Mac J by my side, there's so much to be sought. Mods from the stars, they light up the night. Chillin' with Van, everything feels just right. Welcome to the mystery, the thrill, the thrill we embrace. Solving cases together we'll trace. With Tabby and Maggie, the journey's begun. With laughter and stories, we'll shine like the sun. Sun. Oh. Spirit Time vibes with Lisa and Mark. Tia and Mel igniting the spark. According to Lean, curiosity flows. A curious rose in a garden of woes. Sweet misery whispers, tales that enthrall. While Matt, Meg, and Jody, we gather them all. Welcome to the mystery, the thrill we embrace. Solving cases together we'll trace. With Tabby and Maggie, the journey's begun. With laughter and stories, we'll shine like the sun. Sun. So come along, join the fun tonight. In Aussie true crime, everything feels so right.
Hey, beautiful people.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Welcome in. I don't know if everybody's heard, but I'm very excited with the outcome of the trial.
Yeah, well, I think you said last time that there might be a not guilty verdict.
I was worried. Honestly, the judge took a week to do his deliberations before the jury went out. And even though we didn't do a presentation and put it together, he went through all of the evidence. And just to me, it sounded like it was very towards Erin's side. So I was very worried. As I kept messaging you, I was very worried that it was going to come out a certain way. But it didn't. It came out today. This afternoon, we got a notice that the jury was back. I know everyone got 15 minutes to get to the courtroom. And I think it was the longest 15 minutes. I was like posting everywhere, trying to get everything, like everyone out so that everyone knew. And then it just started and it was just bang, 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 bang.
Bang, bang.
I am so excited. But yes, even my dog's excited. They're going off. But she was guilty on all 4 charges. And so that's guilty on the 3 charges of murder and guilty on the attempted murder of Ian. I have a few things tonight to share. There's one thing that goes back to the start and tells the whole story that I wanted to, that 60 Minutes put together, and I just think it's great. I wanted to share it. I have some stuff about the prison that she's going to that I can show you. And a lot of the evidence is getting dropped. It has been getting dropped all afternoon. It's still getting dropped, but I want to go through and show you, and also show you where you can find it. So even after the live, if you want to go and see more, I can give you the links of where you can keep an eye and where it's all getting dropped. Oh my God. Little Miss Sharon, thank you so much. Who have we got here? I've just been trying to hold everything in. Hi, Matt. How are you, my darling? And, of course, our beautiful little Miss Sharon. Kaz, how are you? Kitty Witty. Kaz. My beautiful Jessie. Let me find something for Miss Sharon.
Ooh,
And my StreamYard's a mess because I've been in here all day making.
Okay. Is it the cat?
I've got some new ones that I've been... Yeah.
G'day, I'm Alpha Roo. Just borrowed a 600 horsepower paddock toy. Owner said, don't scratch it. Challenge accepted. Interior review, 0 Roo legroom, 5 stars on intimidation. Let's make this asphalt scream. Little bit of traction loss, call it freestyle driving. We'll probably stick the landing. Car's modern art now. Owner's ringing, phone's buried in the sand, just like my dignity. Roo out.
Thank you so much, little Miss Sharon.
Thank you, Miss Sharon.
So, let me pull our first thing up. Thank you so much, Spirit Time.
I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened.
Poison my stealth.
The cook, the diners, a deadly lunch, and one giant mystery.
I think it has all the elements of a sort of Shakespearean tragedy.
In a case that's captivated the world.
An Australian
Beautiful Bianca, how are you, my darling? Welcome in. Kez, hope you're feeling okay. The motive they didn't have to give, so it was just a guilty or not guilty. They haven't said about a motive because that's not something the jury had to find today.
They just had to prove intent.
Yeah.
But we reckon it was, well, I reckon, in my opinion, I think it was over child support.
The child support's what they kept trying to blame, but yeah, it's not, the motive wasn't something that they had to. But this article was from 60 Minutes, I think it was. Yeah, 60 Minutes done this one. it's only 20 minutes, but it goes from the start all the way through to what happened today. So it's not long, but it tells the whole story, and they've done so good on this. Kitty Witty she is, honestly. I'm just so excited because there's now justice for the family. Like,
Yes.
Family's meal is now the centre of a homicide investigation.
Play after a deadly meal claimed
And
3
a
lives.
family lunch turned deadly.
I cannot think of another investigation that has generated this level of media and public interest.
This case is certainly unusual. Mass poisonings are unusual.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I say I didn't do anything. I loved them.
A misguided belief that people would believe her.
Does this strike you as an honest person?
She's wiping imaginary tears from her eyes.
We take you inside the most closely followed trial of the year that thrust a sleepy town in regional Victoria into the global spotlight and bring you the only television interview with the woman at the centre of it all. Erin Patterson.
The circus, the mushroom circus, has come to town.
This story doesn't begin with a deadly beef.
one thing I did find funny, there's one little cafe that was just up from the courthouse, and it was where most of them all ended up going for lunch every day. So they had a special for the whole time of the trial for lunch. It was a special mushroom soup.
Wellington meal. It begins years earlier with a marriage slowly unravelling. Erin Patterson and husband Simon made a home together in the tiny town of Currumbara, a tight-knit rural community of around 5,000, 120 kilometres southeast of Melbourne. The couple had separated but by all accounts remained friendly. That was until late 2022 when their relationship deteriorated with bitter disputes over money. Erin moved to nearby Leongatha, but despite ongoing tensions between her and Simon...
Hi, beautiful Jodie. Me too. Her kids are the ones, yeah. But at least they won't be getting any more mushrooms in their muffins now.
She remained close with his family, and the couple was yet to formally divorce. This would provide the backdrop to the dramatic events of July 29, 2023. 2 weeks before the fatal beef Wellington meal, Erin and her children attend the local Currumbara church, where Pastor Ian Wilkinson is giving the Sunday service. At church, Erin invites estranged husband Simon, his parents Don and Gail, as well as Gail's sister Heather and her husband Ian to lunch to discuss a medical issue. Simon agrees to come, but the night before, he texts Erin,
"Sorry, I feel too uncomfortable about coming to the lunch with you, Mum, Dad, Heather and Ian tomorrow. But I'm happy to talk about your health and implications of that at another time if you'd like to discuss on the phone."
Erin replies,
"That's really disappointing. I've spent many hours this week preparing lunch for tomorrow, which has been exhausting in light of the issues I'm facing, and spent a small fortune on beef eye fillet to make beef Wellingtons because I wanted it to be a special meal, as I may not be able to host a lunch like this again for some time."
The next day, Erin's 2 children go to the cinema. The guests arrive and Erin serves individual beef Wellingtons with a side of mashed potato and greens. According to police, the 4 guests are served on large grey plates, while Erin's is suspiciously different, smaller and lighter in colour. Then Erin drops a bombshell. She tells the small group she's gathered them together to tell them she has cancer and the 5 of them prayed. Detectives would later discover Erin had been texting the family in the lead up to the lunch about undergoing mysterious medical tests. But in fact, there had been no tests and Erin Patterson did not have cancer. It was all an elaborate trap used to lure them to the lunch. That night, the 4 guests fall violently ill. Within a week, 3 would be dead.
They were beautiful people.
Don was just a really lovely bloke, and I miss him.
I don't think there'd be any person in this town that wouldn't be feeling grief.
It's not Midsummer Murders. This is Carambara. This is real people's lives.
Monday, 2 days after the lunch, Erin presents to hospital feigning sickness. Against medical advice, she leaves, despite being told she's been exposed to a deadly toxin. Police are called to conduct a welfare check, but Erin eventually returns to hospital of her own accord. Doctors plead with Erin to bring her kids in too, because she tells medical staff they ate the beef Wellington leftovers. But Erin's reluctant to pull her children out of school. She tells the authorities she purchased fresh mushrooms from her local Woolworths and dried mushrooms from a grocer in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs. That sparks panic at the health department, with officials dispatched to search all the stores in the area. With news of the deadly meal making global headlines, Victoria Police calls a media conference.
I'm not aware of an investigation where we've had 3 people die as a result of apparent food poisoning, whether that be by mushroom or something else. So yes, it is rather unique.
Detective Inspector Dean Thomas is head of the homicide squad.
4 people turn up and 3 of them have passed away, and with another one critical.
Mum and Dad were very much a team working at life together. The fact they died on consecutive days is fitting in some ways, as it reflects the togetherness as a couple that they always worked so hard to grow.
I bet he's also one very happy man tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
The deaths left a tight-knit town broken. Don, Gail and Heather, pillars of their local Baptist church.
Yeah, I think the whole community's very sad. Don and Gail were terrific grandparents and parents, and it's just an absolute tragedy.
Simon Patterson paid tribute to his late parents at a public memorial.
They would always wave goodbye when they parted ways. It's partly because one day would be the last wave. Mum's final text message on our family group chat as she lay in Dandenong Hospital was, "Lots of love to you all."
Hundreds of locals turned out to pay their respects, but one person was missing.
I can't imagine.
We tracked her down as the service was starting.
Have you chosen not to attend?
Hey?
I said, I can't imagine who didn't attend.
She had too many reporters following her.
Of course.
My lawyer has told me not to talk to you, so I've got nothing to say to you. I'm sorry.
If you've been unfairly persecuted in the media, as you say, this is your chance, Erin,
To set the record straight.
Within months, Erin Patterson is arrested.
Erin, did you kill them? Did you think this day was going to come, Erin? Months before the murders, Erin Patterson's phone was traced to this area, known for growing death cat mushrooms. It's only a short drive from Erin's place, and according to those phone records, she spent precisely 25 minutes here. Just enough time to pick her poison. A day earlier, a post went up on this citizen science website listing a sighting of the poisonous fungi in that same area. Erin's computers previously accessed that site to look at other death cap locations. Once home, police claim Erin dried the foraged mushrooms in a dehydrator, which she then dumped at this tip. Criminologist Dr. Xanthi Mallet says that was a critical clue.
From my perspective, the food dehydrator is really at the heart of this case. Erin Patterson has stated that she got rid of that because she was nervous after a comment that her ex-husband made at the hospital in that he said, "Is that what you used to kill them?" And that kind of made her get rid of it through fear that she would be suspected.
Erin had multiple phones, secretly swapping SIM cards between devices as police were raiding her home. Erin factory reset one phone multiple times, including remotely, after detectives seized the device. Her main mobile has never been recovered, despite intense searches of her property.
Interestingly, the research suggests that most homicides committed by women tend to be by poisoning. There's always a hope you won't be detected.
Criminal psychologist Tim Watson-Munro has come face to face with countless killers.
Not speaking about Erin Patterson, I've not examined her, but they weigh up the odds. And in some cases, the hatred of the deceased is so strong, it overwhelms logic. And by and large, these people think they are more clever than they really are. And they think they will get away with it. They don't understand how sophisticated forensic techniques are.
In the days after the lunch, Erin Patterson was spinning a web of lies to conceal an evil plan. That charade continued when she spoke with me just over there, outside her Leongatha home. It was her only television interview. Will they sit from the property area?
I just ask you just to leave me alone now, please.
So firstly, I want to look to see whether the verbal content matches the body language. Is there conflict or contradiction between what a person says and what they do?
One thing they did, let me find it, just while the jury was in making their decision, all the ones that were on Erin's side, where did I put it? Went to her house and put tarps up, because I know a lot of us remember at the start when they had all of the reporters there and she couldn't get away from them when she was going to the house. They put up tarps, and as you can see, it just left room where she could drive her car in, and that went all the way to the front door.
Whoa.
So this happened probably about a week ago. It was why the jury was in.
It's nuts.
And then today, we got some photos of her. Now, these were photos that were only released today, but they were taken back on the 12th, I think it was, and it was her back in the back of the paddy wagon coming to court.
Ugh.
These were like one of the first things dropped.
She looks so fake there.
I think it looks like she's laughing.
Yeah, you're right. She kind of does.
She showed no emotion when the verdict was read. No, she didn't. She just looked straightforward. She didn't even cry or anything. The kids. I feel for them because they've lost their grandparents. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their great auntie. Now their mum. I know she's not passed, but I do feel for the kids. And I feel for Simon. Do you know what I mean? As much as it was over and as much as she's done, it's still going to be a big closing point for him.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I've tried to remember all day is the people behind it. It's not just a story. There's real people behind this. There's real families and they're going to grieve. And I just hope this gives them the justice that they need and they can move forward now. And it's 2 towns. It's 3 towns. It's, do you know what I mean? So many spots now that need to get a name back because they've been put on the map for all the wrong reasons.
Yep. There was a post on Twitter from one of the motels in the area near the courthouse, and they were just making a joke of it, like, "Oh, the case is over now. We had a verdict, so now we have vacancies."
Like, don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? Where the hearing was and everything, they've had a good cash injection for the last 10 weeks, but Victoria is a beautiful part of Australia. It's cold. I don't like the weather there, but it's a beautiful part of Australia, and that's the sad part. It has been put on the map for all the wrong reasons. They nearly lost his father. He'd gone for... Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I think the motive was. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of people say it was the child support, but I think it was Simon because she'd already had 3 attempts at him. Those charges were dropped. It was the day that the court started because, do you know what I mean? I remember watching people that were going to the court driving there, and it was literally as soon as the jury was picked, all those charges were dropped. So, and I don't know now if we're going to find out why. Anyway,
I would love to know why, but yeah.
We probably will. As I said, they're still dropping heaps of evidence. Like, I just went and looked again while this was playing. There's still more dropping.
Oh, wow. And this normally doesn't happen.
No, I think because it's been such a national case, even in the news reporters that I was listening to today, do you know what I mean? They were saying that this is a case that's going to be studied. So, obviously, we're going to get a lot of evidence. They're still going to have the sentencing, the plea hearing and the sentencing hearing. I don't think we've got a date. I'll keep looking.
Not yet.
As soon as I have a date, little Miss Sharon, everyone will know. And I do have a timeline, so we will go through it soon. I'm going to go through and show you how it all happened. Like, yeah.
Steve Van Apron is a world-leading expert in body language and deception. He's worked with police on more than 80 homicide investigations.
We have the largest number of neural networks between our brain and our hands, so it'll go up to our face to block. Prolonged eye closure, research shows blink rate increases 6 to 8-fold after the delivery of deception.
We asked Steve to analyse my interview with Erin Patterson.
Let's have a watch.
Can you tell us what happened on Saturday?
What happened on Saturday was devastating. It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian and Heather.
Just at this stage, the masking behaviours, I've seen that a lot when people may be blocking, and could be like a prolonged eye closure or whatever, and she does a lot of that.
So that's the hand to the face.
Hand to face, yeah, blocking.
It was some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me. And
I know, Chick Tracy. She thinks she has tears there. I wouldn't be surprised if it is around that, because she will get life sentences for the 3 murders. And I know life in Australia is 25 years. So there's 50, 75 just there. And then she's got the attempt at on top. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 80 to 85 years. She won't get out of prison.
No, and I think also because this is a high-profile case, they'll be less inclined to...
Oh, they're going to make an example.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me. And I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Just that's quite interesting in itself. There's a lot of wailing in that, but there's no tears. I don't see any tears. She's wiping imaginary tears from her eyes. That's a concern. I mean, usually when you're dealing with people who are really distraught and crying, you'll see that. And she does it several times.
It's that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened.
What's happening now, she's actually talking about how she feels, not information, because usually if somebody's been falsely or maliciously accused, no one wants to be falsely accused. So there'd be more information, in my experience, when people are upfront, direct, and have nothing to hide. They'll be able to recall, times, dates, places, information, how they felt, emotions, all that type of thing. All we're hearing is how she feels about it, not any specific detail. And she's given a perfect opportunity to give her side of events.
It's at this point Erin refuses to answer any more questions.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from? Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I say I didn't do anything. I loved them.
Where did the mushrooms come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Erin? Can you tell us? What meal did you cook them? Did you eat the same meal, Erin?
See, my OCD there is that mat at the front of that house so needs to be straightened up.
Oh, I agree, but I was just going to
That's
say...
what I saw of her walking in, was that mat needs straightening.
I was just going to say that interview with her fake crying was so it was so fake that an artist actually made a mural of it, which we showed last week.
It's the most famous picture, I think, of her.
Yeah.
But I can't fake cry because I know, so am I. I'm there with you, Jodie. I'm an ugly crier. If I start crying, spirit time just hides. Oh, you are not, Tracy. You're beautiful. Stop that.
Yeah.
Does this strike you as an honest person?
What it does show me is she's quite evasive, omissive and dismissive. She shot you down or cut you down before, and she chose not to answer the question. She could have if she had nothing to be concerned about. Why is that?
In general terms, these people are capable of considerable planning. They have a specific intention in mind to either maim, injure or kill the victim or victims.
The 9-week trial was held in the regional centre of Morwell, a 45-minute drive from Erin's home. Among the star witnesses, sole survivor of the lunch, Pastor Ian Wilkinson. Journalists, podcasters and true crime writers from around the world descended on the tiny town. Motels here have been booked out for months.
Initially, when it hit the headlines, we're inundated with the calls. There's people from interstate. There's a lady who's a crime writer writing a book. She's going to write a book on it, I'm led to believe. And have witnesses, media, and just general people that were interested in the case to come to the town.
Retired Detective John owns the Cedar Lodge Motel next door to the courthouse.
Everyone's talking about it, have done for ages. You know, it's a very unusual case.
Morwell's usually a bit of a ghost town, so it's actually created a little bit of a buzz. So obviously they're doing the town up a little bit. You can tell the gardens and everything is coming up really nice.
At the local news agency, owner Ray can't believe the spectacle.
A little Morwell, who'd have thought? You know, and because of a mushroom case, a murder trial, we've ordered more papers. We've sort of increased the amount of papers that we're getting.
Inside the small country courtroom, only a handful of seats were reserved for media. The public gallery was packed with self-confessed internet sleuths, hoping to catch a glimpse of the killer cook. Some travelling from interstate and camping out from 5 o'clock in the morning just to jag a seat.
It just draws you in because I want to hear every word that's coming out of her mouth and hanging on every single word that she's saying to just make my own mind up on what I think is going on.
I found her to be quite well spoken and quite polite. I watch her when she deals with the staff when they let her out of the dock, and she always says thank you, and I find her to be quite respectful in that way, which is a surprise actually.
We've already got our verdicts. Sorry, but
it'll be up to the jury, I suppose. So.
That's right.
The evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth,
Thank you,
and nothing but the truth.
In a shock 11th hour twist, Erin Patterson announced she would be taking to the witness box.
Not that I can lie, I was getting up early most mornings to do all my housework so that once court started, I was sitting here ready for the updates. So I think even my family's going to be glad it's over.
I can never look at a mushroom the same way now.
No, neither can I. And like, Jimmy, I know some people know, but like, I do sell Scentsy, and we have never had mushroom warmers. In the last 6 months, we have had 2 come out.
Oh my
and
goodness.
it's like, seriously, you want me to sell these? And no, I'm not buying either one. I'm not buying mushroom warmer.
It's an unusual move given accused people in Australia aren't compelled to speak during their trial. Rather, it's up to prosecutors to prove the case. We're about to take you inside Courtroom 4.
Miss Patterson, can you repeat your full name, please?
Erin Trudy Patterson,
And how old are you?
50.
These are Erin's words spoken by an actor.
I wanted to have some more connection with them, so I invited them all.
At times, breaking down in tears, Erin details what she claims happened at the lunch.
So it's right at the end of the meal, and I mentioned that I'd had an issue a year or two earlier where I thought I'd had ovarian cancer. I'm not proud of this, but I led them to believe that I might be needing some treatment in regards to that.
Did you lie to them?
I did lie to them.
Erin claims she may have mixed death cap mushrooms she accidentally picked in the wild with mushrooms she claims she bought at an Asian grocer. Her defence lawyer is the one asking questions.
At that time, to your knowledge, what was in that Tupperware container?
At that time, I believed it was just the mushrooms that I bought in Melbourne. Now I think that there was a possibility that there were foraged ones in there as well.
Erin denies serving her guests on different plates.
Just the dinner plates I had. So I think there's a couple of black, a couple of white, one that's red on top and black.
Do you own any grey plates?
No.
Were there any assigned seats?
No.
And were there any assigned plates?
No.
Erin becomes more combative as the prosecutor interrogates her.
The Asian grocer story was a deliberate lie, correct?
Incorrect.
I suggest your whole story is untrue, that you plated the food without discrimination.
You're wrong.
I suggest that you made out that you were seriously unwell.
Erin's then asked why she sent her friends messages full of expletives about Simon's family amid disputes with him over money.
I needed to vent. I needed to get my frustration off my chest, and the choice was either go into the paddock and tell the sheep or vent to these women.
Erin admits to being a serial liar, but maintains it wasn't because she was concealing a triple murder.
I was scared that they would blame me for it, for making everyone sick, and I was scared they'd remove the children.
When somebody's life is taken prematurely through murder or manslaughter, people never really recover from that. They talk about closure. There's never really full closure.
As Mum and Dad lay in comas in the Austin Hospital in their final days, and each day we were unsure whether they would recover or not, it was comforting to know that when we said, "See you later," we knew it was true. The only thing that we didn't know was when. The hope of "see you later," that was their hope, and it's ours. And in the meantime, we'll miss them.
There remains one lingering question. Why did Erin Patterson murder her estranged husband's family? It's something only one person will ever know the answer to. And whatever it was that drove Erin Patterson to cook her now infamous mushroom meal and serve it to the people closest to her, she will now pay the ultimate penalty. After a 9-week trial, the jury of 12 handed down its verdict: guilty on 3 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry.
So that's that one. Now I have another one that's on the prison that she's going to. And this one's just from 7 News.
Taken to Dame Phyllis Frost, the maximum security prison. Nick McCallum is outside there. Nick, she's about to spend her first night there as a convicted murderer.
She is, Mike. We're told it's about a 2-hour drive from the Morwell courts to the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre here at Ravenhall, which is in Melbourne's western suburbs. We can reveal now she has been here since November 2023, when she was charged with murder and attempted murder. Every Monday morning during the court proceedings, she's been taken by prison van from here to the Morwell court. She's appeared in the court. Then every weeknight, she has stayed at the Morwell police station in a cell. And on Friday evenings, she's been brought back here to spend the weekend here. We can also reveal in March 2024, it was reported by the Herald Sun that she had been threatened by fellow inmates and was now living in solitary confinement in a particular cell, a unit which actually had its own kitchen, its own closet. She was allowed to walk around the unit. She wasn't allowed to leave. And I can also just tell you the Herald Sun has filed another story claiming she was in fact accused by a fellow inmate of tampering with their food, and the inmate claimed she was in fact ill because of that. Now, there was an investigation. We are unclear what actually happened with that investigation. But during the investigation, it was also reported by the Herald Sun that she was put in a place called the Slot, which is a hard lockdown area, and she was there in solitary confinement for 22 hours a day, Mike.
Nick McCallum at Ravenhall, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And let me go back to the bottom. I'm going to share this link. So they've just stopped for the night, but I'm going to share it anyway, because if anyone wants to go back over any of this. Okay. So this is the live updates from ABC News for today. Okay. MacJ, oh no, I dropped it. Oh no, MacJ dropped it too. Okay, that's the live updates for today. We're going to go through them now, but just in case you want to go back over them or we don't get through them all. Hey Matt, how are you?
Hi, Matt.
Shame we can't see the court footage. She would have looked like a dick. She didn't. All she did was look forward. They reckon that there was no emotion. Share screen.
Was there like a court drawing?
Hey?
Was there a court drawing of like what she looked like when the verdict was read, or not yet?
I don't know. There's been heaps dropped. I haven't gone through all of it yet.
Oh, okay.
Because even while we were live, they were dropping more.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay, so this is 6 hours ago. They're just going through. Basically, this is before the verdict was read. On what happens. So they haven't got it here. But what happened is the announcement came out that the jury was back in. They had 15 minutes to get back into the courtroom, and then the judge came down. Do you know what I mean? You know how it goes. Asked the jury. She was found guilty on all 4 charges. So that was all 4 charges. The Supreme Court found Erin Patterson guilty of murdering 3 relatives by deliberately lacing a beef Wellington lunch with the death cap mushrooms. Patterson, 50, has pleaded not guilty to murder and attempted murder, telling the court the poisonous mushrooms were accidentally included in the meals that she served to 4 relatives in 2023. Patterson's parent-in-laws Don and Gail Patterson both passed after the Leongatha lunch, along with Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson. Heather's husband Ian Wilkinson survived after spending weeks in hospital. Sitting in Morwell, the Supreme Court jury found Patterson guilty of murdering Don and Gail and Heather and guilty of the attempted murder of Ian. As the verdict was handed down, Patterson did not express any obvious outward emotion watching the process from inside the courtroom. So after delivering its guilty verdict, the jury was sent out of the courtroom and they just continued. So these pictures are outside the courtroom after the verdict was read.
Oh, wow. Did they have, I wonder if they had cops there to like control the crowds.
I think this is the most this courtroom's ever seen. Do you mean it's also the media? They've had media from all around the world. Because even you said, who did you see it on tonight?
BBC.
So yeah, these are scenes outside the courtroom. Dozens of journalists, camera operators are gathered outside the court building in the minutes after the verdict. So no comment from the Patterson family spokespeople as they left. It is what it is, Erin Patterson's friend says. So a woman who is understood to be one of Erin Patterson's friends was visually upset as she exited the court. I'm saddened by what it is, she said, when asked how she felt about the verdict. I didn't have any expectations. It's the justice system, and it has to be what it is. But we do have a video of her up further. She was there every day to support Erin.
Wow.
Samantha Allen, welcome in. So the lawyers have not left the court. They were still in there. This was just their going through it. That's just going back through the prosecution's case. Just outside the courtroom. Mr. Serious leaving.
Ah, yes. Good old Mr. Serious.
Mr. Stephen Eppingstall. So the Victorian Police respond to verdict. In a statement, Victorian Police spokesman said that their thoughts are with the families affected. Our thoughts are with the respective families at this time, and we acknowledge how difficult these past 2 years have been for them, the spokesman said. We'll continue to support them in every possible following this decision. They say that Patterson and Wilkinson's families have asked for privacy and will not be supplying a statement via Victorian Police. The spokesman also acknowledged that the Homicide Squad detectives and the wider police force for their work on the complex investigation. So this is just another guy that was there watching the trial every day. These are the photos of Erin. So yeah, May 12th they were from.
Got it.
So this is the friend when she was leaving the court. This is Erin's friend, her supporter.
How are you feeling?
I'm excited, and it is what it is. Thank you.
Did you have a chance to talk to Erin, no? Did you think that Erin was capable of something like this? She's a triple murderer.
Were you expecting your friend to be found not guilty? I didn't have any expectations of the justice system, and it has to be what it is.
What did Erin say to you in the moments before
What did you say
she was
to
taken
Erin
away?
when that verdict came down?
Ali, she said to you, see you soon. Were you hoping to see her?
I will.
Was
see
Erin
her.
confident that she would walk? Those tarps went up at her house.
Was she positive that she would walk free?
Ali, when you say you will see her again, do you believe she will appeal this verdict?
Just, I'm her friend, and I'll see her. I'll visit with her.
Was Erin confident that she would walk today? Did you think she was going to get out?
I don't know.
How do you think she was feeling in that moment?
I don't know.
Do you believe her that this was an accident?
Not a question I could answer for you.
What do you think she would want to say to the families, to her extended family that have lost their lives?
I could just get to my car, guys. I'm doing really good now. Thank you.
Come on, guys. Enough.
Thank you.
Hey, Ozzy, was that a copper helping her get through the crowd?
No, that was just one of her friends pulling her through. So this was Simon leaving his home. None of them have spoken out. The Homicide Squad detective speaks outside the court. Victorian Police Homicide Squad Detective Inspector Dean Thomas has spoken to the media outside the court in Morwell. I'd just like to acknowledge the decision that the jury today, and I'd also like to acknowledge the investigation that have worked on the investigators that have worked on the investigation since July 2023, right through till today. He says, hang on, my vacuum's just cleaning itself. I think it's very important that we remember that 3 people have passed, and we've had a person that's nearly passed and was seriously injured as a result. I ask that we acknowledge those people and not forget them. So exhibits from the trial that have been released. So this is Erin Patterson's dining room.
Oh wow, we get to see it for real. And
Not as fancy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. So this is the cookbook. And the bottom one. And then, by the look of it, her lovely plate drawer.
Ah.
So these would have all been the pictures that they were talking about in the trials. So in the dishwasher, the scales.
Mushrooms.
Yep. And I'm assuming that would be the beef Wellington.
I agree. Yep, it's the Wellington.
So this would have been at the rubbish tip. When she was getting rid of the dehydrator.
Is that surveillance?
It would have just been the CC footage at the tip.
Ah, got it.
Would have been all the testing. Different parts of the leftovers.
Wow.
How did she explain the mushrooms? Did she ever say how she accidentally poisoned everyone? She ended up agreeing that she did forage, but she said that she didn't forage in the spots that they said she did, even though her phone pinged at both spots in one day. And she said that she could have had some in the container and then put the ones from the Asian grocer in there, forgot that it had mushrooms in there, and they've all just got mixed up. That was her excuse.
And then she changed her story about where she got the mushrooms from 3 times?
Yeah. Every time she heard another bit of evidence, the story changed to the evidence.
Yep.
So there's the tip again. This is the dehydrator.
Wow. Looks expensive.
Here's the prison van. The van left with a prison escort about 5:30 p.m. Taking her to her new home?
Yep. I wonder if they'll serve her mushrooms.
So this is the CC footage from the service station when she was taking her son, not her gun, her son, to the flying lesson. She's in the red car that just pulled up.
Okay.
And you got to remember, this is her with major diarrhea and sick.
And with white pants.
Very quick toilet trip.
Yep, too quick.
For someone who's so sick, she's got quite an appetite.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what else is there? So these are just some more of what they're saying is the death cap mushrooms on the kitchen scales.
Geez, that's a lot of death cap mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. And this would be them once they're dehydrated.
Ah.
So this was one of the Facebook messages. I've been hiding powdered mushroom in everything, mixed it in the chocolate brownies yesterday. The kids had no idea.
Who posts that? Like, really, not smart.
So this is the footage of Erin Patterson leaving the hospital against medical advice. And still in those white pants.
I know, like, if she had diarrhea like the previous night, like she claims, you'd think she would wear black pants. That just tells you that she knew.
Beautiful, Linny. Have a lovely day, my darling. Thank you for coming in. Kitty Witty, I left hospital. Once against medical advice. Ew.
Ew.
I've done the same thing. I went in, it was in COVID, and I was really, really sick. And I went into one of the hospitals. It was Sunshine Hospital in Melbourne, and it was disgusting. And because it was COVID and it was so overpacked with people, because it was like right at the start, they put me in this. All I remember, it was like a closet room. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like they just put a bed in a closet and there was rubbish and everything in there. I rang Spirit Time and left and just went home. Mind you, I ended up back in the emergency ward that night, but it didn't do me much good. But yeah, Kitty Witty, I've been there with you. So these are some of the posts from the iNationalist website.
Okay.
So Leningatha Hospital Dr. Veronica Foote told the trial how the beef Wellington leftovers retrieved from a bin at Erin's house were brought to the hospital on Monday after the lunch. This was the paper bag, and the registry from the Monash Medical Centre asked me to take a photo and send it to her to see if she could identify the mushroom in the filling. With gloves on, I took the samples out of the bag, put them in a clear A4 sheet copy of paper, and took the photos.
What is that?
That's the leftovers.
Ah. Okay.
Okay. So that's the receipt for the dehydrator. There, it was $230 for that one.
Wow.
Erin Patterson hands over her phone to police after the lunch. So this would have been her kitchen table again.
Yep. Meanwhile, she got rid of the other phone.
Yeah, she never gave him her normal phone. She gave him a dummy one. And the lunch at Erin's, Gail's diary note for the fatal lunch. This is Gail's diary. And you can see there.
Okay.
The 29th. So that's all they've dropped today. But we have put that link in the thing. I'll put it in again. I don't know if they're going to drop some more tomorrow. If they do, I'll put it in our Facebook group and in the Discord, so we can see what else comes out. But I think that's about it. I am going to play our Erin video for her.
Oh, I remember this one.
In the shadows where the whispers dwell, Erin's got a story that she knows too well. Invited them over for a peaceful lunch, but poison lingered, just waiting to crunch. Love turned to sickness, secrets unfold in this twisted tale. The truth is told. Erin Patterson, what have you done? A deadly game, now the fear has begun. Lies whispered softly, but the truth is a knife in the heart of a family. Now they've lost their life. Hours passed slowly, then chaos arose. Family in agony, nobody knows. 6 weeks in limbo, they pray and they weep, while Erin keeps hiding, her secrets run deep. Guilty or innocent, which road will she take? In the end, it's the truth that will break. Erin Patterson, what have you done? A deadly game, now the fear has begun. Lies whisper part of the family. Now they've lost their life. Here at the end, the darkness won't fade. Erin's left standing. The price has been paid.
In the shadows where the whispers dwell, Erin's got a story that she knows too well. Invited them over for a peaceful lunch, but poison lingered just waiting to crunch. Love turned to sickness, fingers unfold. In this twisted tale, the truth is told. Erin Patterson, what have you done? A deadly game on the fear has begun. Eyes open softly, now what a trophy. Half a family lost their love.
All hearts love because it makes me see every head in us at funny time. I'll start again, take our sins up, but last year, no family in the world has a fantasy.
Darkness won't fade. Erin's left standing, price had been paid.
So sad. And that's one thing I do want to say. Like, I know I am very happy with the verdict, but my condolences and prayers do go to the families. I really do feel for them. I hope today at least brought them some closure and some answers. And to the jury. Do you know what I mean? I know there was 12 that answered it, but there is 14 jury that sat for 11 weeks. If anything, do you know what I mean? We all follow true crime. We know that these cases hold on to the jury for a long time, and I'm sure the jury aren't going to forget this case.
No.
It is going to be a case that's going to be talked about. It's going to put Australia on the books for sure.
Yeah.
But at least we know Erin's where she's supposed to be tonight. And yeah. So if there are cases, we are going to do some catch-up ones. I know there's quite a few cases that we've been following that I want to do some catch-ups on. So we are going to do, I was going to do it with this one, but I'm just going to leave it with Erin tonight. So Mac J will get with you on doing another catch-up one.
Okay.
But if there's cases that you want us to follow, obviously Phoebe's one we're going to be following right through. But if there's more you want us to, let us know. Reach out to me or Mac J. We're happy to do it because we want to build the channel. We want to start doing more lives. So if there's something you want us to look into or there's a story you want us to cover, do you know what I mean? Reach out to either one of us and we'll get together and start putting something together. But other than that, yeah, I think that's about it. All right, then we'll make sure you go over. In my description, there is Mac J's channel is in there. Make sure you go and give her channel a like, unless you want to put it in the chat.
No, I can't see it I'm on the phone.
Hang on. 2 seconds. I'm sure you spoke in here not long ago. Well, it is in my description anyway, so go and make sure you give Mac J's a like as well. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not even seeing it in the chat on my iPad. But other than that, we love you all, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you guys.
Thanks to everyone.
Bye.
Aussie true crime on the rise. Investigate the scene, uncover the lies. From Melbourne to Sydney, all the way to Perth. No case too tough. We'll dig into the dirt. We'll crack the code. Find the truth. Bring justice to you. Australian legends in the game. Bringing light to darkness, no shame. Just got a super chat. Let's celebrate. Raise a glass for all the cases we've solved in the past. With eyes wide open, we'll never rest. Aussie true crime, we're the best. From cold cases to missing persons, we'll leave no stone unturned. Every virgin did live up, but justice and truth will always hear us. Thank you so much. Raise a glass for all the cases we solved in the past. With eyes wide open, we'll never rest. Aussie true crime, we're the best. Thank you so much. Let's celebrate. Raise a glass for all the cases we solved and never rest. Aussie true crime, we're the best. Let's celebrate. Raise a glass for all the cases we solved in the past. With eyes wide open, we'll never rest. Aussie true crime, we're the best. Let's celebrate. Raise a glass for all the cases we solved in the past. With eyes wide open, we'll never rest. Aussie true crime, we're the best. Thank you so much.